Hello, good morning students, and welcome back to Mehta PG College online study portal. Today this is the lecture 6th of our series recorded for BSc first year physics, paper first mechanics, although it is the same as the unit first, but it is the chapter 2nd here. Well, today we will talk about some literally different concepts here. The concept of Foucault pendulum, or in our series of Coriolis force, let's talk about the effect of Coriolis force on pendulums. So we will know that how does the Coriolis force affects the pendulums and how this all comes into action. Before starting the video, if you are new here, I would like to request you that please go and kindly subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you will never miss another update from us. And if you learned something new and if you wish to get these videos again and again, then let us know by giving it a thumbs up, and we will provide more entertaining and more educative content to every other student there. Well, this is a free study portal, so thank you very much for all your love and support. Okay, so now without wasting any time, let's get started here. Well, this is the Coriolis force effect on some pendulums. You remember the concept of Coriolis force? Well, Coriolis force is not so new for you. Every other student who has watched our previous videos for this series, this is the lecture 6th here, and every student who have watched the lecture 2nd, 3rd and 4th and 5th, or the lecture 1st, if any one of you have watched all the 5 lectures, then you know that what we are going to talk about right now. Right now we will talk about the effect of Coriolis force on pendulums. Okay, you know that something that what is the pendulum, you know very well what is a pendulum here. That pendulum is not a new thing for you. For you, what is pendulum? Pendulum is something that has been hanged through a wall by a wire. So this is the bob here. It could be metallic. Well, metallic is taken in sense that we are going to have some little weight there. That's why we are using a metallic bob here. Okay. So this is some sort of pendulum. So let's talk about that. What is the Coriolis effect? How does this Coriolis force affect this pendulum here? Well, this is the pendulum that has been hanged freely by a wire straight through the wall. Okay, so this has been hanged from here, and we just wish to know that how does the Coriolis force, which has been affected every other motion. So certainly this Coriolis force must get some impact on there. So let us know that how does all these things happen. Well, the Coriolis force is something that tells us or that allows us to explain the things that Earth is rotating on its axis. Yes, Coriolis force is all about the rotation of Earth. Coriolis force exists just because the rotation exists. It's some kind of rotational force, but it is not the centrifugal and not the centripetal. This is not that kind of force, because centrifugal and centripetal forces are exerted because of the rotation of any body. The rotation possesses, and that's why those force acts. Otherwise there is no force. If any particle is at rest, then there is no centrifugal force and no centripetal force. But the force exists is the Coriolis force. Coriolis force doesn't need us to know that if this force exerts for the particle which are in motion only or which are at rest only. No, there is no foundation like that. Coriolis force exerts on both type of particles. Either your particle is at rest. That doesn't mean if you are at rest or you are in motion, Coriolis force will keep on working. So now let us imagine that you are living in an era where every single person is there who is assuming that Earth is fixed on its axis and Sun is revolving around it. Okay, that was some assumptions that have been taken or the superstitions that are being taken to that era scientists. The scientists of that era, they imagined that the earth is stationary and sun is revolving around it. Okay. So in that era, if someone will wish to say that, imagine yourself that if someone say that the earth is not stationary there, the sun is stationary, but earth is rotating around it, then what will happen? Few things will certainly going to change, and every time when there is a change, that must cause some effects. Sometimes these effects are possible there, sometimes these effects may give you a new expectation to think that, but sometimes these things gone wrong. So that's all what happened there. Similarly, the concept of Coriolis force went through a lot of complications, but within the experimental verifications, like saying that there was a scientist who was named after Foucault, the pendulum has been named after him. He proved that the Coriolis force actually exists in real practical sense. This kind of force exerts there. So for that we need a pendulum, and how does all this happens? Let's talk about. This is something just to taken into consideration. This is no longer needed here. We will just going to talk about the Foucault pendulum here. Well, this Foucault pendulum named after the French physicist Leon Foucault. There was a scientist named Leon Foucault. After his name, this pendulum has been named as the Foucault pendulum. Okay, so that was the scientist who first discovered that the Coriolis force really exerts on all the particles, and Earth is exactly rotating there. The rotation of Earth is explained by this Foucault pendulum. Without Foucault pendulum, you don't know how do the things going to happen. It was the day, it was about 1851. Yes, the dates are about 1851. Well, this topic has no strategic importance according to your exam point of view. If you wish to know, then you can continue with this lecture, and if you don't, then you can skip at your own risk. That doesn't matter. But let's talk about the topic here, which has been saying that we are just supposed to know the effect of Coriolis force on pendulums. The effect of Coriolis force on all kind of pendulum. And every time when you explains the effect of Coriolis force, that is the time when you are talking about the Foucault pendulum here. Okay. Well, Foucault pendulum is none other than anything, but it is also a pendulum there, which has been hanged by a 16 meters long wire and a 28 kg brass coated lead bob. Well, the bob is made up of lead and been coated all around by the brass. The brass has been coated because brass will reduce the effects of some kind of like this, the nitrogen, which is certainly a reactive gas, and these kind of concepts have been taken into consideration, that the weight should remain stationary, the weight should not vary by even a single gram there. So these are the things that are taken into consideration. That's why the lead has been coated by the brass here. And the bob is weighing about the 28 kg, and it has been hanged by a wire of, sorry, not 16 but a 67 meters. With a 67 meters long wire. You can imagine yourself that if something has been hanged about 67 meters, and in your actual practice, that if you can imagine yourself, let's say this is our room. Let's say this is a box here, and consider that few things into here. Let's say this is the ground and this is the roof. Okay. Imagine yourself that this room, and let's say this room is fixed on earth, or this room is fixed on something that has been rotating with any angular velocity. Let's say the angular velocity is omega in case of earth, and we will use the results, and then we will predict the time of rotation and the energy is saying as the kinetic energy and the potential energy which is being stored during the rotation there. Okay. Let's say this is a room which is fixed on something that has been rotating with any kind of angular velocity. Let's say omega is the angular velocity by which this room is been rotating to this direction. And this direction, let's say this direction is anti-clockwise in sense, but earth is rotating into clockwise direction. So we take an example of clockwise rotation. Let's take the example here. For example, let's consider this room is rotating anti-clockwise. Let's say a bulb is being hanged here freely. And the meaning that if something is being hanged freely, then it is meant that if this frame is moving, consider it yourself, that if this particular frame, this is a frame of reference, this will act as a frame of reference here, the rotating frame of reference. If this frame will keeps on rotating to this direction, does the bulb will move the same direction at the same instant? No, the bulb will not move with this direction here. Why? And how these all things happens to us? What happens in the actual practice? Keep it in mind. What happens here? The thing happens if the wire is about 67 meters long. That means, how will you get to know that if this room is rotating to this direction, this anti-clockwise direction, so what will happen to the clockwise direction? This wire by which this bulb is been hanged here. So this wire, what happens to this wire? This rope or this wire, let's say this is a rope here. What happened with this rope here? Let's say this is the rope here, and the bulb is, let's say this cap is a bulb, and this has been rotating. The bulb is fixed, but the room has been rotating. So what happens? The thing happens is, this rope will got some tensions. This rope will certainly get some tensions to itself. The string will certainly got some tension. If the earth keeps on rotating, so what happens? The bulb will also rotate into the anti-clockwise direction. Yes, the bulb will again rotate to the anti-clockwise direction. If you consider that earth is stationary, so this thing should not be happening there. And if something like this is been happening, so you can say that the earth is rotating here. By these experiments, we get to know that the earth is rotating on its axis. So this is all what happens here. Okay, so this is all. Now what happens actually here? How does these things relate to us, and why we should take care of these kinds of experiments, and why do we need these experiments here? How does the Coriolis force act? The Coriolis force, let's say if anything that has been stationary within the room, let's say if this has been stationary here, if it is not moving from its place, so what will happen? The thing that will happen is, this will always keep stationary, but your room will rotate and you will notice it after 24 hours. Yes, after 24 hours, we will notice that these kind of things are happening here. Okay. So this is what the real concept of the Foucault pendulum here. What happens exactly? What does he got through this experiment? He got that the bulb is moving it goes that the Bob's plane is rotating clockwise Bob's plane is rotating clockwise 11 degree each hour. The earth is rotating anti-clockwise on its axis. Okay, the earth is rotating anti-clockwise. Let's say this is true. If earth is rotating anti-clockwise and you are stationary with the frame of reference of earth, so what happens? You will also rotate. So you are not stationary in a sense. You are not stationary to yourself, but you are also a moving body there. Okay, so if you are also moving there, you will you cannot notice that if a rigid thing is always remains the same. So how will you get to know? This is the pendulum here. So what happened with the pendulum exactly? After an hour, they noticed that the plane of the bob made an angle which is about the 11 degree each hour. Each hour, the bob is being displaced by the 11 degree. The bob's plane displaced with 11 degree. Okay. It was somewhere in Paris, and this all happens there. And the bow will complete a full circle it completes a full circle in 32.7 hours. So the earth will take about 24 hours on its axis, and this bob, this particular bob took 32.7 hours to complete its full rotation. For the full circular rotation, it took about 32.7 hours. So this is all what happens exactly with the Foucault pendulum. Let's say this pendulum is being termed as the Foucault pendulum. Okay, so these are all the things which have been happened with this Foucault pendulum, and all that things which have been happened there, and it took 32.7 hours to complete its rotation. So this is all what happens with the Foucault pendulum. I hope that you got the theoretical concept that what was the Foucault pendulum exactly. In practice sense, in the practice, this Foucault pendulum is being taken into consideration, saying that if it is a moving body, well, the Foucault pendulum is stationary there. So what exactly happened is, the thing happened is the Foucault pendulum will keeps on rotating. Either it should be stationary if the earth is not rotating on its axis. So if the earth is rotating, so that's why the pendulum is rotating. And what happens? The pendulum will rotate in a direction that is opposite to the direction of earth. This is the direction at which the Coriolis force acts on it, and this is the direction in which this is a clockwise direction. Let's say in the clockwise direction the bob will moving, okay, and the bob will make a complete rotation in 32.7 hours. I hope that you got the things. This is only for your explanation. You can take a screenshot for your reference, but it is only a reference here. Okay. Well, this is for the northern, and we got some cases for the Coriolis force. If you remember, the cases for at the northern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere, and at the equator. So the same thing will happen to the Foucault pendulum. We will consider all these three cases. Let's say first case for the northern hemisphere. In northern hemisphere, and in southern hemisphere, and number 3 at equator. So what happens in all these three conditions? If the focal pendulum is in northern hemisphere or in southern hemisphere or in at equator. Well, when this bob is been placed in the southern hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere, then the Coriolis force will act from left to right, and let's say this is the west to east, and in the southern hemisphere the thing is opposite. The Coriolis force here for in the northern hemisphere, it will act from left to right. Yes, the Coriolis force will act from left to right, and in southern hemisphere the thing are opposite. These are saying as the right to left. And what happens at equator? At equator the things remain the same. It behaves as it is stationary there, so there will be no change at equator. Okay, the oscillation remains fixed relative to the earth. Oscillations remains fixed relative to the earth. Okay, so this is all happens here, and these are the three conditions. In northern hemisphere, the bow will experience a Coriolis force which is from the direction having left to right, and in the southern hemisphere it experiences a force from right to left. But at equator what happens is, at equator the oscillation remains fixed related to the earth. So, okay, so the oscillation remains fixed. The thing means that there is no Coriolis force acting on the equator, because at equator there is no partition existing, and that's why the motion of the bob will remains relatively fixed. Okay, so there should be no change, and the Coriolis force has no effect. So as per the earth is rotating, the bob will rotate. Okay, so these are the things what happens, and that's why the place Paris has been chosen for this experiment, and we need a 67-meter long wire. And why do we taken about 67 meters? That's all because it is something that we need the longer and longer path. We need a longer and longer wire, so that we can suspend the thing as freely as it should be. Okay, so that's all were taken into consideration, and this all happens into the focal pendulum experiment. This is the theoretical concept here till here. I hope that you got all the theoretical concept by now, and the thing remaining is it's a mathematical expressions. So before going to the mathematical expression, let me be aside. You can take a screenshot for your reference. Then we will proceed here. Now we are going to need some workspace here, so I think that I should clear this off and let's proceed. Okay, so let us assume sorry. Well, we got the concept at when if it is at equator, the thing will happen, the motion will remains fixed related to the earth. But what happens if we got some latitude there? If we got to displace into the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere, what the things happens? We got the concept that saying that the Coriolis force will act from left to right in the northern hemisphere, and from right to left, or say from east to west in the southern hemisphere. So let us know that how these things will relative to us and how these whole things happens. Let's say add some latitude. Add some latitude lambda, where the horizontal and vertical component of the horizontal and vertical components of velocity are velocity, which has been termed as the omega. The components, you say, for the horizon we take the cos theta into consideration, and for the vertical case we take sin theta into consideration. Omega cosine of lambda and omega sin of lambda respectively. Okay, so this is it, all what happens here. Well, the vertical component will produce a Coriolis force on the oscillating bob normal to the plane of the swing. The vertical component here, the vertical component, which has been said that the omega sin of lambda, yes, this is the vertical component, will produce an angular velocity in the clockwise direction. Okay, this will produce a Coriolis force. This will produce a Coriolis force on the oscillating bob normal to the vertical plane of swing. On the bob on the in the direction perpendicular to the vertical plane of swing. Okay, so all what happens here exactly is the vertical component. Every time you know that the vertical component will produce a Coriolis force which has the direction that is perpendicular to the vertical plane of swing. So similarly, what happens with the horizon, because the horizon not going to produce any kind of Coriolis force there, because certainly the Coriolis force will exert just because of some latitude, and that latitude certainly affect the vertical components more effectively than that of the horizontal components. Okay, so this is all what happens here. Let's consider the things again. What did we said? We said that this is the vertical component which has been said as the omega sin of lambda. Where it is? Yes, it is here. Yes, this is the omega sin of lambda. What will it do? It will produce a Coriolis force. Yes, this will produce a Coriolis force, direction perpendicular to the vertical plane. Direction perpendicular to the vertical plane. Okay, so this is all what happens here. So it will produce some sort of Coriolis force there, and the things will certainly affect the motion of the suspended bob here. Okay, also the horizontal component, and what should be the direction here? In northern hemisphere, the direction will be anti-clockwise. In northern hemisphere, just because of this component, in northern hemisphere, the direction will be anti-clockwise. The direction will be clockwise. I mean from left to right. And in southern hemisphere, the direction will be anti-clockwise. So these are the directions that will going to affect our motion here. our motion will be affected just because the direction will be clockwise, and for the second case the direction will be anti-clockwise. For the northern hemisphere, in northern hemisphere the direction will be clockwise, I mean to say that from left to right, and in the southern hemisphere the direction will be anti-clockwise, I mean from right to left. Okay, so these all things that been happen here. Okay, so this is all what we are subjected to get up with. So these are the directions here. Okay, so this will happen. Also we need to now we need the horizontal component omega cos of lambda does not produce Coriolis force on the oscillating bob. Why do not? Because every time you know that the Coriolis force will affect as the thing that I have been said earlier, and I am repeating it again so that you memorize all these concepts deeply. That's why it's taken too long to explain this topic. Otherwise this topic is only about 5 to 10 minutes, not longer than that. This is only for the explanation so that you can get all the concepts, so that you will never forget the thing within your examinations. Okay. So I said that the vertical component certainly be experience some sort of Coriolis force, but the horizontal component does not go through any kind of Coriolis force experience. Why? Just because every time when you talk about the horizon is associated with earth frame of reference. Okay, but whenever you talk about some latitude, let's say if you are talking about some sort of vertical components, then it will certainly going to feel some sort of forces which are against the rotation of the earth, and these forces can be termed as in the term of Coriolis force. Okay, you can call them the Coriolis force here. Okay, so this is it, this is the Coriolis force, and that's why all that what it happens here. Now the horizontal component do not produce any kind of force. The horizontal component, which was the omega cos of lambda, do not affect the bob. Okay, so it do not affect. So now what do we need? We need to know the time period. Time period for what? The time period of rotation of vertical plane of swing. Time period of rotation of vertical plane of swing. Okay, so what happens in the vertical plane of swing? In the vertical plane of swing, the time period is given by t, and if it is in vertical case, then you know that the vertical component of velocity, where it was let's say, where is the vertical component, yes, this was the omega sine of lambda here. So that will be equals to 2 pi, which is the total distance what a bob is subjected to cover with, which is the 360-degree rotation. To complete a clear rotation there, the bob must go through a clear rotation, so that is the 2 pi, and the velocity by which it is moving, let's say this is the omega sine of lambda. Okay, so this is the time period here, and you know that what is the value of for earth, the value of omega is, what is the value of omega for earth? The value of omega is, earth is also rotating 2 pi distance, so that 2 pi must be divided by 24 hours. Okay, and that will be equals to the radian per hour. Okay, that is the value of omega here. So shall we use the value of omega by now? Yes, we shall use the value of omega. So what we end up with? We end up with just t is equals to 24 over sine of lambda. That is the time period now becomes here. So if you get to know the latitude, maximum is the latitude there. Maximum will be the value of time t, minimum will be the value of time t there, and if minimum be the value of lambda, then t will be going to infinite. So let's say that if lambda is equals to 0, the time period will be infinite. Okay, the rate of rotation of vertical plane of swing, okay, so let's talk about the rate of rotation of vertical plane of swing. Now the rate of rotation of vertical plane of swing. So by which rate does this thing will going to swing? This will going to swing, so let's say this is the 2 pi over T is there is a rate here. The rotation in the rotation per second. Okay, there is the vertical plane of rotation. This is the 2 pi over T, and the 2 pi. Let's say this is the 2 pi here, and for T we got the value saying the sine of lambda is here and 24 somewhat here. By solving, what we will have, we will end up with saying as the pi sine of lambda divided by 12. Okay, this will be the values here. So these are the values. So we got these values. This is the rate of rotation here. Well, now how does this rotation takes place in actual practice? Since this is the 2 pi here and this is divided by 24, that in actual practice it has been said that that will be equals to saying as the 15 sine of lambda degree per hour. Okay, let's say this is 2 pi is equals to 360, and if pi is equals to 180 divided by 12, calculate somewhat here. 12 ones are 12, this is the 15 here. Okay, so let's solve the pi also. So the rate will be equals to saying as the 15 sine of lambda, and what it is, this is the degree per hour. Yes, this is the degree here, this is the degree per hour. That is the rate here. Okay, so this is the rate what we have in our explanation. So this is the rate what we end up with. We got the rate of rotation here. Yes, we got the rate of rotation. Now we are going to talk about some certain conditions. Let's say the conditions which have been associated saying at once if the pole is if the bob is at the poles, or another condition when the bob is within the poles, and all these conditions. Let's talk about them. So I need some more workspace here. First you take a screenshot, then I will clear off some things here, and then we will proceed further. I hope that this is enough time for the screenshot. Sorry. Okay. First of all, let's talk about when this bob is at the poles. At poles, where lambda is equals to 90 degree and sine of lambda will be equals to 1. Okay, we got the values here. The value for lambda, which is the latitude, and it is not only for the northern hemisphere or for the southern hemisphere. This is not, we are not talking about only the northern pole or the south pole, but we are talking about for each and every pole. That doesn't matter, because the north pole will again 90 degree have a latitude 90 degree, and the southern pole will again going through a latitude which is equals to the 90 degree there. So for both the poles, lambda will be equals to 90 degree, and then sine of lambda will be equals to 1. So what should be the value of time t there? So the time t will be equals to 24 hours. Okay, so the time will be equals to 24 hours here. The vertical plane of swing will take 24 hours to complete a one full rotation. This means that the vertical plane of swing will take 24 hours to complete a full rotation. Okay, so this is all happens here. Let's talk about the second case. When the latitude is maximum, and then for the second case when the latitude will be minimum. So latitude will be minimum, which is equals to the lambda is equals to the position should be equals to the at equator, and at equator what should be the value of lambda? lambda will be equals to 0 degree, and for lambda is equals to 0, this implies that sine of lambda will be equals to 0 again. So for this, the time period t will be equals to, what will be the value of time t here? Using this equation, the value of time t will be infinite by now, or in sense it is undefined. Okay, this is not appropriate by saying infinite, because infinite has no meaning. So you can say that this is undefined here. And if something is undefined, that means the thing is not exist at all. So you can say that at the poles the rotation will not exist. Okay, the vertical plane of swing does not rotate here. The vertical plane of swing does not rotate here. So this is all about the focal pendulum, and this is all the mathematical expression that is all up to you. You consider it yourself. Let's say this is we are subjected to calculate the time period here. The time period for the vertical plane of swing, that is equals to t is equals to 2 pi over omega sine of lambda, and for earth you know that the rotational velocity has been given as the 2 pi is the total rotation or the total distance that is earth is subjected to cover, and we are known of the thing that earth is completed its rotation within the 24 hours, so that will be equals to 2 pi over 24 radians per hour. So the time period t will be equals to, by using this value here, the time period t will be equals to 24 hours sine of lambda. If you get to know the value of lambda, then you can easily calculate the value of time t here. Okay, so now we should talk about the rate by which the vertical plane will rotate. Okay, we are talking about only the rotation of the vertical plane here. So the rate of rotation of vertical plane of the swing, that is equals to 2 pi, which is the total distance, and the time t in which it will rotate. So that has been said that 2 pi over t. Using all the values here, we end up with the 15 sine of lambda degree per hour. Okay, so this is the rate of rotation. So this will rotate with the 15 sine of lambda degree per hour. This is the rotation rate here. Okay, so this is all happens. And now we got some conditions to talk about using this time concept here. First, let's talk about if your pendulum is at the poles, either on the northern pole or in the southern pole, that doesn't matter here. The thing matters is the latitude, which is the lambda. The latitude must be 90 degree, or the latitude must be maximum here. If the lambda is equals to 90 degree, then this will imply that sine of lambda will be equals to 1, and when the sine of lambda will be equals to 1, you will end up having the time t is equals to 24 hours. So it means that the vertical plane of swing will take 24 hours to complete a full rotation. Okay, so this will take 24 hours completely to complete a single rotation. Okay, this is all happens here. So this is all happens here. Also, when you are at equator, where the latitude lambda will be equals to 0 degree. Okay, so when the latitude lambda is equals to 0 degree, then sine of lambda will approach to, where does it will approach to? It will approach to 0 here. So when the sine of lambda will be 0, then time t will be undefined. If anything that is undefined, that means that you say the time t is equals to infinite. Infinite time taken means the thing will do not going to rotate, or the time rotation will be very, very small, even that much small, you cannot even notice. It cannot be even noticed by us. Okay, so that's why this is undefined here. So this means that the vertical plane of swing does not rotate. Okay, so that's all what happens here, and this is all what the effect of Coriolis force on pendulum, and we termed it as the focal pendulum. So this is the lecture 6th in which we talked about the Coriolis force here, and well, this is the last lecture of all the theoretical concepts. We got some mathematical calculation topics also, but we will talk about them step by step and again by again within our next session. So that's all for today's lecture. Thank you very much for watching the full video. If you are stayed at the last, then thank you very much again and again. And if you are new here, then please consider to subscribing to our channel and press the bell icon, because this is a truly free study portal for everyone, not only just for the students of Mehta PG College, but every other student who just want to learn new things every day. So we got every day new videos for you. So thank you very much again for all the supporters. Thank you very much for your love and support. And this is the Mehta PG College online study portal signing off.